Hello Year 3, it's Mr. Howell and welcome back to another maths lesson. Today we're going to be continuing our theme with finding the number of days in a period of time, and that's going to be our learning objective for today. First thing I want to do is to revisit the challenge from yesterday's lesson. I know that some of you have had a go at this, and well done. I was really pleased with a lot of your efforts. So the challenge question was that it took me 3 whole months to read a book. I read 3 pages each day. There are 270 pages in total, and the question was asking which 3 months did I read the book. And a lot of the answers that I saw, where the answer was correct, I could see that they'd taken all of those clues and used them to help them to answer that question. So if we have a look at the information that we've got, it says here that I read 3 pages each day and that there are 270 pages in total. So if I have 270, that's my total number of pages, and if I read 3 each day, I need to do a division to work out how many days it would have taken me to read all of those pages. So if I use my long division method, my chunking method, I'm going to look for a number that I can multiply by 3. Now here I could do 30, but it would take me a little bit of time to work that out. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a bigger multiple that's going to make it ever so slightly easier, and the way I'm going to do this is to count in my 3 times tables. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, I think I might still be able to keep going, 21, 24, 27, oh 27. I'm going to stop there. Why do you think I might have stopped at 27? That's right, because I've got 27 here and I've got a 0, which means that it's a multiple of 10 of that amount of 3s. So 9 times 3 equals 27, which means that 90 times 3 must equal 270. So if I then circle my 90, and I'm going to put 270 here, and then I'm going to subtract this, I end up with 0, and I mustn't forget to put my answer on the top. So the number of days in total is going to be 90, so well done if you got that correct answer, but that wasn't the question. The question was asking me which 3 months did I read the book. So it needs to add to a total of 90. Now I know from yesterday that 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31 except February, which has got 28 or 29 in a leap year. So, and I'm looking for 3 months next to each other as well. So the answer is going to be these 3 months here. January, February, and then the last one is going to be March. And if we have a look at the dates, the days rather, in each of those months, in January we have got 31, in February we've got 28, and then in March we have got 31. And if you add all those together, it comes up with the answer of 90. And those are the only 3 months where that would work because of having them in 3 consecutive months, so 3 months next to each other to add up to that time period. So those of you that have got that answer correct, you will be aware of the fact that you've earned your Head Teachers Award for that. So well done for your effort with the challenge. moving on to our In Focus task for today. Lulu started her holiday on the 3rd of March. The holiday ended on the 17th of March, and you can see that there's a calendar there to help you. How many days was Lulu's holiday? I want you to think, how am I going to answer this question? Have a pause of the video or let the star rotate and see if you can answer this question. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to think about that. So we know that the holiday started on the 3rd of March. We know that the holiday ended on the 17th of March. So we're trying to work out how many days Lulu's holiday was in total. If we have a look at the crossed off days on this calendar, that shows us that whole time period, the whole number of days between the 3rd and the 17th. So you can see that this 3rd here is the first day that's crossed off because that is part of the holiday. That's the first day. And then the last day is the 17th. So it's going to be all of those days included. So if we count these, we should be able to get an answer. And if you haven't already done that, then we'll do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the answer is that Lulu's holiday lasted for 15 days. Now, I would imagine that if you were going to get an incorrect answer, the most likely incorrect answer that you would have got would have been the answer 14. Now, if you're thinking, is Mr. Howell a magician? Has he read my mind? I'm not, in case you were wondering. Here we've got the 17th and here we have the 3rd. If we were working out the difference between these two numbers, which operation would we use? Would it be addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? If you said subtraction, you would have been correct. Well done. So to work out the difference, we would have made the calculation 17 take away 3, which gives us an answer of 14. So here, the difference between those two numbers, the mathematical difference between them, is 14. So the reason for that being incorrect is that it doesn't take into account that first day of the holiday or perhaps the last day of the holiday, depending on how you've worked it out. So let's have a look at this next question. Do you agree? What if the holiday started on the 3rd of March and lasted for 10 days? The holiday would end on the 13th of March. Well, actually, someone's disagreeing and saying that's not correct. The holiday would end on the 12th of March. So I want you to see whether you agree with the statement that it would end on the 12th of March. And I want you to see if you can explain why, please. Okay, what did you come up with? So here I've put that it would end on the 12th of March because the 3rd counts as the first day, and therefore 10 days including that day takes you until the 12th of March. If we have a look at the calendar and the circles representing it, we can see that we've got the 3rd. Let me choose a different colour. We can see that we've got the 3rd as the starting date, so that's day 1. The 4th is day 2, day 3, day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the last day counts as the 12th of March. So you need to think really carefully about making sure with days that you include that number that you're starting with. This is a little bit different from addition. If you think about when we're adding numbers, we hold the number in our head, for example, and then count on for the numbers afterwards. If we were counting, for example, from 3 to get to 12, how many would we add? Well, if we had 3 in our head and we count on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we get the answer of 9. But don't get this confused with addition. This isn't addition. We're making sure that we're including all of the days within that time period. What if the holiday ended on the 17th of March and lasted for 10 days? So Elliot's saying that 17 take away 10 equals 7. So did the holiday start on the 7th of March? And the answer is no, it's not. The holiday would start on a different date. Can you see if you can work out when the holiday started, whether you agree that it's the 7th of March or a different day? And can you explain who is right? So I don't just want an answer. I want you to see if you can explain to a grown-up at home why the answer you believe is correct. See if you can prove it to me. Have you had a chance to have a think about the answer? And have you managed to persuade your grown-up to the fact that your answer is correct? Okay, well, not that I want to encourage any disagreements, but let's have a look at this. So if the holiday ended on the 17th of March, if we circle this date, this is going to be our last date, and it's lasted for 10 days. So we need to go backwards from this date because the 17th is the end date, and I need to circle how many dates? Am I going back to the 7th? Let me reread this. What if the holiday ended on the 17th of March and lasted for 10 days? So I need to circle 10 days, don't I? So if I keep going, 9, 10, let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So looking at this, when did the holiday start? That's right, it's the 8th of March. So again, remember, it's that period of time. The number of days needs to include the first and the last day. So the total would be 10 days from the 8th of March, which would be 17. Remember, we said a minute ago about addition being not quite the right mathematical calculation. Remember, we've also said about subtraction and finding the difference wouldn't give us the correct answer. And that is Mr. Howell's top tip, to remember that if something starts on that day, you need to include it because that day is included within the period of time. Otherwise, your answer is going to be incorrect. If we have a look at our guided practice questions today, we're going to look at these one at a time. You're going to have some time to think about it and answer it, and we'll go through it. A book festival started on the 5th of April. It ended on the 9th of April. How many days was the festival? So I haven't given you a star to think about it this time, and I also won't be boiling a kettle today. So if we have a look on here, we've got the 5th of April as our starting date and the 9th of April as the end. So I'm going to circle the 5th and I'm going to circle the 9th. And then I could also, just to make life a little bit easier, circle these dates in between, which gives me my total number of days. So all I need to do now is to count them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is 5. So a nice simple one to get started with. We remembered to include that first and that last date. So with the question that we've got, the first and the last date, it makes it a little bit easier because we can remember to circle both of them when we're then counting. Otherwise, we can make sure that we try and remember to include that in our calculations. So let's have a look at our second guided practice question. And this is that a music festival started on the 28th of April. It lasted for 7 days. On what date did the festival end? So again, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to have a think about this and give me a chance to work it out as well. And then we'll go through it together and see if we got the same answer. I see. Tricky. Okay, year 3. Hopefully you've had a little bit of time to think about that. And the first thing I'm going to do again is start with the start date. So here is the 28th of April and it's lasted for 7 days. So I haven't got an end date here. So the way that I've decided that I'm going to work it out is I'm going to circle 7 dates up until I get to that 7th day. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then what I realized when I was working this out is it's going to go into the next month. So that makes it a little bit tricky, but it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, the calendar here, because you can see that these 3 empty spaces, let me see if I can highlight them, that might be better. These 3 empty spaces here of the week, which are on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday, they link in to this part of the calendar here, the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, which would be the 1st, so the 30th would then become the 1st of May, the day afterwards. And that this part of the calendar here that's in April, which I've just written over all the writing, which I didn't mean to, is going to be these 4 days here. So they kind of correlate, they match, if you can imagine it being a bit like a jigsaw puzzle with May fitting in underneath April so that it flows into a whole time period. So I've got these 3 days circled here. So I now need to just continue to circle 4, 5, 6, 7. That is appalling writing. I'm really sorry, year 3. So we've got the 4th of May. So I'm going to write the 4th. I'm going to use my little TH at the top there of May. So the 4th of May has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm happy with that answer. It's lasted for 7 days. I've got all of those dates circled. I've double checked my answer and I'm happy that I've included that first day as well of the 28th of April. And hopefully you managed to get the same answer that I did. Or if you didn't, that's absolutely fine. Part of the practice of doing the guided practice questions is having an opportunity to look at where you didn't quite get the answer right and understanding the method or the reason why you didn't quite get that right. Last guided practice question then. A food festival closed on the 1st of May. It lasted for 9 days. On what date did the festival open? Right, I'm just going to get straight on with this one because this is an easy one. 1st of May, 9 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh goodness me, 9. 9th of May. That's easy, that's done. I suppose I better double check my answer though, hadn't I? 9th of, oh goodness me, 9th of May. Right. A food festival closed on the 1st of May. Hold on. A food festival closed on the 1st of May. Oh dear. Year 3. I think I've made a mistake, haven't I? Can anyone else spot the mistake that I've made? Yes, I have missed this word. And do you know what? I was that desperate to get on with the question. I've not read the question properly, and I've missed the word closed, which means that actually this 1st of May is actually the last day, because that's when it closed. The food festival ended on that last day. So actually what I should be doing is I should be going backwards 9 days. So that's going to be my first day, isn't it? I wonder which date you get to. I'll give you a little bit of time and see if you get the same answer that I do. Okay, so I've worked it out, but I think the answer should be the 23rd of April, but let's have a look. So we've got 1 on May, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh my goodness, 9, 23rd. So the correct answer, I'm going to cross out, is the 23rd of May. Well done. I'm sure there was somebody that spotted that I was going wrong a little bit earlier and you were shouting at the screen telling me that I was wrong. On to your tasks for today then, Year 3. You are going to have some questions to find the number of days. There are only 3 questions, but they are a little bit tricky. You need to have a think about the days in each month before you're able to answer those questions. So see if you can grab a calendar or grab a diary from somewhere in the house. See if you can have a look on the calendar on the bottom right hand side of a computer. If you click on where the clock is, it comes up with a little calendar, so you can use that to help you as well. I want you to answer those questions as best you can. There's a challenge which I'll go through with you in a moment. And the last thing I want you to do is to spend some time on TT Rockstars. I know that a lot of you have been going on there, but I want to see if I can just get some more of you on there to practice your times tables. It's really good for your multiplication skills, but it's also really good for recognizing number patterns and improving your speed and recognizing numbers as well. So it is a really, really good app to use and really good for your times tables. Let's have a look at your challenge. So your challenge is that Michael is on holiday at a hotel between the 5th of May and the 14th of May. Susan stays at the same hotel from the 10th of May until the 23rd of May. There's 3 questions to this challenge and you will need to answer all of them. Number 1, what is the total length of both of their holidays? Number 2, how many days will they be at the same hotel for? Number 3, whose holiday is longer? Once you've worked those out, you will need them to be able to answer my second challenge question, which is, what would your answers be if Michael decided to stay an extra 2 nights? So you might want to go back and relook at those challenge questions in the video for when you're answering them. As always, you can email any work to us at year3@ssjs.co.uk. thank you very much for watching Year 3. We've only got a couple of days left of this half term. Keep the work going and you will have earned yourself a much deserved break. Well done, Year 3.